Artist Talk. One-on-one conversation, 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs.
Hey everybody, happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of Jazzie After Dark Artist Talk. You know, the weekend always seems to fly by so fast, right? So again, I just want to thank everyone. Come on in the room, as they say, right? And we're going to have a great show for you tonight. But first, before you get all that started, I know you have another device somewhere. I got like 3 phones. I got a tablet. So grab that other device and go over to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, right? Click the bell so you can get all of those Jazzie notifications. That's right. So you can catch these amazing shows. And for those who go back and watch the replay, thank you. Go over to kwardradio.com and make sure you subscribe to my email address, okay? Again, we're still celebrating Black History Month. I hope you discovered or read about someone new. You know, I was watching that Nina Simone story today. My first time watching it. Wow. Amazing story, amazing lady. Hey, Carmen Bruner, welcome to the show. So again, go to a museum. I know we're in a pandemic, but if not, just get on the internet. It's available and discover, music also played a real major part, I think, in the civil rights movement. It really did. You should read up on your history. But tonight, without further ado, my next guest, he really doesn't need an introduction. He's an international trumpeter. His name is Willie Bradley, who's my special guest tonight. But first, let me give you just a little sneak peek of what's in store tonight, right here on Artist Talk. I promise you, it is on tonight with international recording artist and trumpeter Willie Bradley. Y'all, now let's share the video. Let's give this brother a lot of love because it's on tonight with Jazzy and Willie Bradley. Hey, Willie.
What's going on?
Hey, my brother. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jazz. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I've been anticipating this, conversation all day today, and
Okay.
I've been a huge fan of your music, and so many people. It was like, wow, when you hear the sound of a trumpet, I can remember my grandfather. His name was Demp Ward. So Cincinnati, Ohio. My grandfather used to be in a jazz band in Cincinnati back in the day, and I can remember the the trumpet. My grandfather, he was a smooth man. He was a smooth brother, like yourself. And when I hear that sound of the trumpet, man, it's just like, did you start off at birth playing that?
Nah, not at birth. Nah, it took. I had to wait a little while before I could start.
You had to wait a little while. Well, we
Yeah.
see everyone coming on in the room. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Carmen. Hey, thanks everybody. Hey, Castella is on the line, my friend Castella. She has a new song, Mojito. Make sure you check her out. Okay. But again, Willie, welcome to the show, Artist Talk. Thank you so much for taking your time to come and spend a few minutes with me and talking about, I was watching that video and it just looked like you were having a ball when you recorded that video, you and Reagan.
Yeah. So I had a good time recording that video. John Walton, a friend of mine in California. He's a drone pilot, and he is the guy that's been doing all my videos. And he comes up with the ideas, and I'm just the guinea pig. I send him the track. He comes up with the idea to put the video to the tracks, and so far we've been doing some great high quality music videos, and I'm pleased with the results from this one.
Oh yeah, it looks nice. And so Willie, we have some new people on the line that may be new to your music. Can you just for those who don't know you, hey Rose Lady Edmond, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, I know you were born in Orangeburg, South Carolina, and all that jazz. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself then?
Okay, I was actually born in Sumter, South Carolina, but I grew up in Orangeburg, South Carolina, and my father's name is Willie Bradley. I'm Willie Eugene Bradley Jr. I'm not the second. The second on my Facebook page is like my second uh, Facebook page because the first one was full. I'm the oldest of three siblings. I have a sister. Her name is Margaret Bradley, and a brother, Reginald Bradley. And I grew up, like I said, in Orangeburg, South Carolina. I went to Belleville Middle School, Brookdale Junior High School, um, went to Orangeburg Wilkinson High School, and I went to South Carolina State University. That was
Right,
my
right.
education there.
That was your education. So Willie, like most artists and performers, musicians, period, did you grow up in the church or was the trumpet like your first love? How was that?
Okay, well, my mom was a very religious lady. She was very strict. We went to church. We had no choice. We were going to church because my mom was like an usher in church, and I did grow up in the church. We had musicians in the church, but we didn't have like the drums and the guitars and all that then. But we attended a lot of the events in church that did have quartet singing. However, the musical foundation I had in my house came from my father's album collection. It was an
Okay.
extensive collection. It was like he had albums in alphabetical order from one end of the living room all the way to the other. We had everything like Earth, Wind and Fire, Nat King Cole, Aretha Franklin, Herb Alpert, Tijuana Brass, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, Chet Baker, um, you name it, we had it. Lawrence Welk. So uh, that was the my musical foundation. And the ironic thing about about the albums is and my mother was a school teacher.
Okay.
And she was real strict when we were growing up. So before we could go outside on Saturdays and play with everybody else, we had to iron 5 sets of clothes. And before we could go outside, each one of us, we couldn't go outside until all 3 of us had our clothes ironed for 5 days of the week.
Wow.
We couldn't turn the TV on because cartoons were on. And when cartoons were on growing up, it was a wrap. We couldn't peel us from the TV. So she let us listen to the stereo, and we were putting albums on, and we were walking around and sweeping and cleaning the house like, we were the Temptations, and we were mimicking all the trumpet players, and that's what we did. And that was when I got an early ear for the music and the sound of the trumpet.
Okay. So when I was thinking about you, when you said 5 sets of clothes, I was like, 5 for the whole week. Did y'all have to be in when the light came on the street? Did y'all have to be?
No doubt. That was the rule, bruh. That was the unwritten rule.
Yeah.
That's right. And you had better be home before that street light came on.
I can remember growing up, we could hear when we were kids outside, we could hear the light, like before it came on, it would make like a humming sound.
Oh yeah.
On the pole, and the kids,
Right.
Everybody would just kind of scatter.
That's it.
And I think that a lot of times, just going back a little bit, kids today, missing that foundation and having parents, like we did probably growing up, I think also helps us who we are today. Whether you grew up in a single family home or both parents. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. The foundation that I received, having a with a mother and a father, and the strict upbringing, what we thought was strict upbringing back then, just today is considered like child abuse. And but I think I turned out okay.
Yeah.
Unlike today, I think when I talk to my kids and tell them how it used to be, man, they are fathomed. They are at how we used to be raised. We didn't have a cell phone. We didn't have no pages. We didn't have nothing. We had one telephone in the house. You had that long cord. You could take that cord and go all the way through the house and be on the phone.
Right.
And when that time was up on that phone, your mom said, "Okay, your time is up. You better get off that phone." It was a luxury. It was a luxury to be able to use the household phone. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
true.
they don't have a clue about that today.
Cool. And I'm gonna tell you real quick. So I can remember my mom with it. It's like every house we lived in, the kitchen was at the front of the house. So my mom was real big about looking out the window, like who is that? Like who you're hanging with. And I knew when I was in trouble when she opened up the kitchen window and she would call my entire name.
Oh yeah.
The kids, Corey, I think you better go on in the house now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You talked about that street light before, man. If my mom had to come on the porch and she would call, she'd say, "Willie Eugene Bradley Jr." She called the whole name.
She called the whole name.
Oh man. And she stand on the porch and say that, man. Oh man, we hightail it. You stop, drop, and roll wherever you were.
You just rolling where you were. And I know you majored in music education from some South Carolina, university. But Willie, last year, March of this time, I don't think any of us were expecting this pandemic that just, I think, stopped all of us in our tracks, right? Whether it's been a blessing, it's been a curse, but just to start off asking you, how have you and your family been doing and just navigating through all of this?
Okay, so to start off the pandemic, we were dealing with my mother. She was terminally ill with cancer, and my final gig was March 14th, and it was in South Carolina, and I got a chance to go out, finish the gig, and went back to my mom's house, and on March 19th she passed away. And between the March 14th and the 19th, I started getting the emails when I was there with my mother, and the gigs were just like being declined, being canceled, one after another. And I'm looking at my emails every minute, and all the gigs I had scheduled, they were like canceled, canceled,
Yeah.
canceled, canceled. And so mentally, for any musician, you know, that's like your livelihood, and that's like the for most musicians touring, that's like a big part of how you pay your bills. And
Right.
you slowly looking at that just dwindle away, and all plans you had were suddenly changed. And you know, um, it was it was something, you know, that you really had to think about, and you didn't have a whole lot of time to think about it. And you really, you had to try to figure out, well, what am I going to do? And um, for the most part, you know, I had something to do. Luckily, I had a project that I needed to finish, and because I was touring so much, I was trying to figure out, well, where am I going to find this time to get my CD finished? And
Right.
well, I just told myself, well, you got work to do, Willie. You got time, so now you can use this time to finish your project. And that's how I occupied my time. That's how I occupied my mind,
Right.
body, and soul. You know, because it's really taken a toll on a lot of people.
Right.
And I believe that I've been able to get through the pandemic, you know, because I'm a spiritually based person, and I have outlets. And you know, it was tough sometimes, but you know, I persevered through, just like most of the other artists have. Um, you know, the little unemployment helped, but you know, I tell you, financially, what has gotten me through this time and keeping me sane is that you know, I was able to, a lot of artists, um, you know, they don't know the business part of the music, and I've
Right.
been fortunate to be able to know that, and to be able to, you know, the residual income from my music is what has kept me afloat during the pandemic, basically.
Right.
And
And
that was
that's
truly a blessing.
yeah, that's important that you mention that, Willie, because you know a lot of artists out here, you know, knowing the business part of it is essential because you know I've spoken to a lot of artists or just you know people in the business, whether they're musicians or behind the scene. They were like, you know what, man, you know what, Jazzy, I thought I had it together, but I didn't have my stuff together. So this pandemic gave me like a light bulb went off. It gave them a wake up call.
Oh yeah, and like I said, you know, I when I started doing this full time, around 2009, you know, I didn't realize how much I was learning when I was learning the business part. I went through an artist development agency called Beyond One Entertainment out of Florida with Kim Giles, and she gave us a blueprint for success in the music industry from A to Z, and how to release a CD project, and to have a, you know, from A to Z, from the photo shoot to getting your EPK done, physical and digital. Um, a lot of steps in there, you know. There was a blueprint, you know, and I lived by that blueprint, and I continue to do that today. And that's been how I've been able to survive without even being on a record label. You know,
Oh,
I've been able to raise the money for my projects, and you just got to do the work. It's the days of record labels and the days of a manager doing your work. I mean, I couldn't afford to pay a manager, you
right.
know, so I learned everything. So I've been fortunate to be able to learn the business side, you know, and it was hard, but it's finally paying off now.
It's probably paying off. You know, I think that's so important. So anybody, artists, new artists out there listening, make sure you do your work. And even if you have the manager, I've always been told you have to also check the check. So even if you have a manager, you can't leave everything in their hands. You know,
No,
it's your business, so you need to check them as well.
right. Well, you know,
That's
fortunately, my first cousin is my manager, and you know, he was the guy that I kind of wanted to be like when I was growing up. His name is Don Harrison, and
okay.
he's a retired lieutenant colonel from the United States Army, and he played the trumpet when I was in middle school. I would rush home, and he played trumpet all the way through high school and at South Carolina State University as well. And he was in the marching 101 there. And he was the guy I wanted to be like when I was growing up. I would rush home from rush rushed to the college from Orangeburg Wilkinson from my band practice to get to the practice at South Carolina State and put my trumpet out and march beside him. I already knew where I was going to school. I already knew where I was going to go, and that's I wanted to be like him. And he's been the one person that that's been helping me. I have a ton of supporters, but he is the main one in my corner as far as the business is concerned. And it's just him and I. That's our team. That's Team Bradley.
That's team.
Okay.
It's nothing like having a great team. But ladies and gentlemen, I am Jazzy K. Ward, having an up close and personal conversation with international recording artist and trumpeter Willie Bradley. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back right here on Artist Talk. Hey everybody, welcome back to Artist Talk. I'm talking with trumpeter Willie Bradley, and we're having this up close and personal conversation. Make sure you go over to Willie's website at williebradley.net. It'll be listed right here in the feed. Make sure you support. He has new music, and Willie, this song "It's My Time" featuring James Lloyd. I am loving this track.
Okay, I'm loving this track. Today I got a call from my radio promoter, Jason Gorov from Gorov Music Marketing. Last year, that track was number 3 on Billboard with a bullet, and it's number 3 again this week on Billboard, and I'm excited about that. I think Freddie Fox was number 1 last week, and he swapped places with Sean Yu, who's number 1 this week, and then Freddie's number 2, and I'm number 3. So I'm just trying to hang in there and just hanging in there, waiting on my turn. And it would be so awesome for me to have back-to-back number 1 hits on Billboard. Like It's On Now went number 1 September 26th of last year, and that's less than 5 months, about 5 months ago. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm still trying to stay prayed up so I can get another number 1. That would really put the icing on the cake for this project.
That's right. So we are definitely going to get you to number 1, Willie. I promise you that.
All right.
But first, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to check out Willie's amazing performance in this video right here. This is his latest release. It's My Time. And y'all, let's get this to number 1 right here on Artist Talk. There you go. Willie, I mean that song, that's one of them songs. If you're at work, if I'm sitting at work in my office, because when I go to work, I'm always listening to music and people come in my office. It's like you are always just jamming. That's just one of them, you walk in the office on Friday or whatever, then you just be jamming to that.
Oh wow, yeah. That I enjoyed that track. That was actually the first track I recorded from the CD, and I recorded it a couple years ago. And I recorded at Michael Parlett's studio in Los Angeles, California. Greg Manning uh, was in the studio. He helped produce the track. But Jeff Kennedy uh, co-wrote the track, and with me, myself, and Jeff is producing the track along with the entire CD. So give
Oh,
Jeff his props on that too. And
that's
that
right.
video was done by Mr. John Walton from California.
In California. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful there because I was going to ask you, was that in South Carolina? But I wasn't for certain.
No, that was in I think that was right. I think Laguna Beach, California. That's where that was.
Hey, what's up, my friend Tyrone, DJ Tyrone Spencer? Suspense is in the house. When I go back, because I remember your 2018 sophomore album. People don't remember that. Going with the Flow.
Yes.
That was considered for a Grammy too, right?
Yes, it was. It was on the Grammy ballot for Best New Contemporary Jazz Instrumental CD. And on that particular album, that was 7 of the songs were written and produced by Mr. Preston Glass. He's a songwriter out of Los Angeles. Greg Manning wrote one track, but he produced 2 of them on there. And I wrote one track. I wrote the title track, and it was produced by Mr. George Freeman, a gentleman from here in Fayetteville. And I was fortunate to have Mr. Gerald Austin and Club Nouveau to assist me on 2 of the tracks, along with the original sax player for Sly and the Family Stone, Mr. Jerry Martini.
Okay, awesome. So on the song "It's My Time," did you write that?
Yes, I did write "It's My Time." I did write "It's My Time," and it was co-written by Jeff Kennedy, and it's produced by Jeff Kennedy. Yes, and that'll be on my new project. So the Going with the Flow, that's a different project. This project, I have two more songs left to complete to complete the album. I just have to play on 2 tracks, and it'll be done.
Okay. So everybody go over to williebradley.net. They can purchase and support you by downloading the song on all where music is
Yes.
sold.
Yes, sir. It's on all of the platforms. It's on iTunes, Apple, Deezer, Tidal, Amazon, Spotify, Pandora, you name it. It's on it. Yes.
So I need everyone that's on this live tonight, even if you already have it, just go get it for someone else. Go right now to the website and just download it. And again, you can also support these artists. And we want to give this song "It's My Time" to #1 on the Billboard. Willie is at #3, and we can do that.
Yeah.
It's all about support, right, Willie? And I think
Right.
a lot of times, and I know you've been in this business a long time, do you find that some challenges with sometimes just basic supporting each other?
You know, it is challenging sometimes. You know, the artists try so hard. I mean, we try to find several different ways to to get support. It was even more so challenging during the pandemic. Okay, so when the gigs were wiped out, like I said, the residual income thing, that's not going to ever go away. Okay, because for one thing, I ended up ended up getting I had to change distribution companies because, I'm with the Orchard right now with CPI distribution, Stacy Taylor and Clay Pasternak. They have really, really stepped up the physical and digital distribution for me and several other artists. And not only that, I just recently set up on my website, I have a new line of merchandise from with the help from Mr. John Taylor. So, I mean, these are all ways you can help the artist. You can go to my website, it's williebradley.net, and scroll down to the merchandise. And if you purchase something, that's going to help me out. I mean, it's very, very nice items. We got 74 items on two different, I have merchandise for It's On Now and It's My Time. So you can, go on that link and purchase something, to help Willie Bradley out. I might be able to give me a piece of Kentucky Fried Chicken if they buy something.
That's right. So everybody, make sure you go over to williebradley.net and support. He has great merchandise. Get a CD. Check out all the amazing merchandise on the site. And in shifting gears, Willie, when I like to ask a lot of my guests, outside of music, if you were not doing music, could you tell us something else that we may be surprised about, Willie?
Okay, well, a lot of people don't know about my story. I used to be addicted to drugs and alcohol for many years. I've been clean and sober for 12 years, April 11th. And then, so what I do is I'm big in the recovery community. I attend AA meetings every day when I'm not on the road. And I help the sick and suffering alcoholics and addicts, in my community. I do that. I like to shoot pool. I like to bowl. I like basketball. I like looking at movies. And, I just like, spending time, at home. I just try to keep it simple these days.
Yeah, that's right. We need simple, right? So what about like your musical, like, if I came to Willie Bradley's house right about now, or we just, went driving, like who would you be listening to like in your car in the house?
Okay, I like listening to the Sirius XM radio watercolors. I like listening to watercolors, and I listen to real jazz because, you know, that's what I like. And I like listening to smooth jazz so I can stay up on who's out there right now, and just to make sure that my music is on the level with everybody else's. I like the Miles Davis, Roy Hargrove.
Right.
Again, Chet Baker, Dizzy Gillespie. You
Mhm.
know, those are the Nat Adderley, Clark Terry. Those are some of the people that are really, really the ones that I really like listening to.
You listen to
Earth,
this.
Wind, and Fire, or the old school Confunction, Brass
Right.
Construction, Brick, Chicago, Doobie Brothers. I mean, I'm all about the old stuff. That's
Right.
where I'm at.
Right. Yeah. So I know, Willie, you perform with, artists like Marion Meadows, Max Roach, Clark Terry, Alex Bouillon, Walter Beasley, and the list goes on. Is there anyone else out there that you would like to collaborate with, or maybe something coming down the line that you just haven't shared with us yet?
Okay, well, I can. I think if I let you know who's going to be on my new CD, I think I will. On my new CD, a lot of people don't know yet, but on one track I already had Greg Manning. One track I have the James Lloyd. I've had Reagan Whiteside. I have one track that's going to feature Walter Beasley. I have another track that's going to feature Marion Meadows. I have one track I just wrote. Jeff Kennedy wrote the song. It's called "Groove for the Cues," and I'm going to have George Clinton is going to be featured on the track. I have Mr. Nathan Mitchell, Julian Vaughn, Selena Albright, and LaShawn Gary and Keita Matsuno. So I have this album is going to be a collaboration album. Every song is going to be a collaboration. So those are the ones that are on my album. But if I had to choose one person that I would like to be featured with on a track, I think it would have to be David Sanborn.
David Sanborn. Wow. I can see that.
Yes.
I mean, he's bad. I had the opportunity to see David Sanborn. Wow. We brought him in. I mean, that's probably like 20 years ago, though. But I mean, he was amazing. He was awesome.
Yes.
He's awesome. David Sanborn and Willie Bradley. I could definitely see that. And everybody, again, don't forget to support Willie, his latest project. Please go over to williebradley.net. I'll just read some comments. Somebody said they love your socks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I believe in dressing. I mean, if you guys look at, that's how I dress on all of my shows, and I've been
Mhm.
dressing like that since I've been in the first grade. So that's how my mom had us dressing. So I mean, I take pride in how I look on stage and off
That's right.
stage, and that's what I do.
That's what you
I,
do.
that's
So
right.
I know it's kind of hard, and you performed at a number of festivals. Is it anything you can share with our viewers uh, that's coming up maybe towards the end of the year or maybe even next year?
Okay. In March, I just signed a contract. I'll be playing the Lake Arbor. We're gonna film a live show. It's gonna feature me, Art Sherrod, Alex Boone Young, and Gerald Veasley. We're gonna film it in College Park, Maryland. Then we're gonna air it on another day. It's gonna be in cahoots with the Lake Arbor Jazz Festival and Kevin Alexander. That's gonna be March 26th. Is when we're gonna actually videotape the live performance. I'm not sure when they're gonna air it yet. Um, and I have a show at Middle C Jazz Venue in Charlotte, North Carolina, April 16th and 17th. There'll be two shows each night. And I have in October 4th through the 10th, I think, I'll be in Mallorca, Spain at the Mallorca Smooth Jazz Festival with a
Oh,
ton of other people.
wow. That's going to be amazing, everybody. And I'm sure you can get all this information. Again, don't forget, go over to williebradley.net on his website. Follow him on Facebook, all social media, so you can keep up, so you can make it to some of these amazing festivals. Right? You need to definitely. I always tell people, if you don't know Willie Bradley, shame on you. You need to definitely shame on you for not knowing Willie Bradley. Willie, I just want to say thank you so much for having this conversation with me on Artist Talk, and
Right.
I would like to ask you, one final question. I'm sure being in this business, you faced a lot of challenges in the music industry. You hear some people say, well, don't even go into this business. But I know you have to have a love and desire to do this. But someone watching that wants to follow in your footsteps, any words of advice or wisdom that you can share with us?
I would like to offer that they would really need to have some patience, some perseverance, and definitely you need to have some passion. If you want to get into the music field, it can be rough for musicians, especially independent artists. You don't have the cushion of having the money up front from a record label. You know, we just learn the business side. Make sure that you're signed up with ASCAP or BMI or CSAC or the entities that pay Sound Exchange, and that your music is copywritten, and that you do your due diligence, and don't expect somebody else to do the work for you. If nobody's going to sell you better than you can. And the one thing I learned that I didn't realize how much I was learning about the business side of it until later on. And my job, I'm an artist consultant today. I help a lot of artists who have no clue about how to get their music on the radio, and I coach them. I have several people that I help out, and that's what I do on the side. I'm an artist consultant. If you don't know how to get your music on the radio, just hit me up on Facebook or on Messenger. You know, you really gonna you have to do the work. Basically, nobody's gonna give you anything.
That's true. That's right. That's what my mom always told me, son, you and dad, you have to do the work. And something you have to watch out. Some things are just handed over to you, you still need to do the work.
Still need to do the work.
You
So
still need
the success I'm having right now actually started back in 2009. and I released 5 singles before one of them even hit Billboard, and I released 4 singles before any of them got picked up by Sirius XM Watercolors.
Okay.
So I mean, you just can't give up. You just have to look at the money that you're spending as an investment in yourself. And some people, some artists look at the amount of money that they have to shell out, or that people are asking for, and it's like, let's say you might need $1,800 for a radio campaign. It's like, well, man, I don't have $1,800, but it's also your mindset. $1,800 you can make it a lot of money in your mind, or you can say, man, I'm going to find a way to make that money so I can get my record out there. And that's the difference. If your mindset is where success is going to be the only option, then you destined to be successful in whatever it is you're trying to do.
Right. That's right. My friend Gerald said it best. He said, Willie Bradley, it's like a master class. That's right. So, any artists out there, hey, you need some consultant. Hey, make sure you hit Willie Bradley up. Go to williebradley.net. Find him on Facebook. You're also on Instagram too, right?
Yes, I'm Smooth Jazz Willie on Instagram.
Smooth Jazz Willie. Again, Willie, my brother, thank you so much for having this awesome conversation with me tonight. And come back anytime when you drop your album, please come back and premiere it on the show.
I'll be glad to do that, Jazzy. I appreciate you having me on the show as well.
Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time, okay?
My man.
Thank you, my brother. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Wow, Willie Bradley, trumpeter. That brother is bad on that trumpet. You see, I had to put my shirt on. Jazz on Willie. That trumpet player. Thank you, everyone, for your support, your comments of the show. But make sure you go over to williebradley.net and make sure you get his music, check out his merchandise and all that jazz. And also check out my K Ward YouTube channel. I'm talking about support. All you got to do is go over there and click the page. Just click the like button. Right? Yeah. Boop, over there. K Ward Radio. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. Any artists that would like to be featured on the show, my information is there. Send me your music. I'll be glad to take a listen to it. Any support you want to give to the show, my Cash App, PayPal link, all that jazz is right there. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for those who come and support me on the show, whether you stay 1 minute or the entire show. Thank you, because you have that it factor right here on Artist Talk. Don't forget to join me this Friday for Featured Friday. International keyboardist, producer, composer Mike Murray is going to be in the house talking about his new CD, Just Cruising. You don't want to miss it. And my friend, author, motivational speaker, LaDonna Michelle will also be joining us. Thank you so much. And don't forget, today is National Margarita Day. Go have you a margarita and just chill and go back and watch the show. Share the show and go back and watch the replay of the show, okay? Thank you guys so much. Have a good night. Remember, take care of yourself and be kind to others. See you next time.
A live one-on-one conversation, 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Award coming at ya.